Now that we are nearing the anticipated orbital launch attempt of Starship, many eyes are on SpaceX's every move and upgrades on the said rocket. There are many of us waiting for the launch, and sure, a lot of safety measures had been considered since this would be a very important project anyway. Here on Elon Musk HQ, we are going to discuss SpaceX's new upgrade on Starship's Welding. What did they do? What is its purpose? Could this possibly have a relevant effect on the performance of Starship? Well, watch to see and know more. A couple of years had already passed, and Starship had undergone a lot of changes, repairs, and upgrades all throughout the years. Not just the hardware and technicalities, but also in terms of its exterior design. For sure, as the years progress, the design is becoming better and better than the prototype and previous designs. It is undeniably sleeker than before, and it is equipped with better welds as well. Since many people are following the projects of SpaceX, specifically this Starship, many cannot help but wonder how it is possible to achieve this current smooth design and metal of Starship from the original rough surface. Apparently, the thing that played a huge role in achieving this well-detailed surface of Starship is the welding of the machine. Although you might not expect them to focus so much on such details, this is obviously something necessary for this project. Well, for those of you who do not know yet, welding is uniting two metals by heating surfaces until they melt. I mean, considering how huge the Starship is, it might have taken them quite a while to weld those metals to make it look the way it does right now. Anyway, just another piece of information that you might still not know is that the original plan for Starship is to use carbon fiber in the entirety of the rocket. When I say entirety, I mean everything. There are actually prototypes of Starship's parts already that even the CEO himself, Elon Musk, has taken a photo with. It is just common to not follow through with the original plans when it comes to these sort of things, as there will always be changes that must be made to make everything better and safer and, well, more efficient. Obviously, the engineers building this rocket changed their mind and switched to using stainless steel instead of carbon fiber. Additionally, they want to maximize their costs. Stainless steel is way cheaper than carbon fiber, and even though SpaceX has the resources to spend on this exploration, it would not hurt to choose cheaper materials. While they are using stainless steel, they can also align it to Elon Musk's dream of regenerative heat shield. We also know that this material is rust-proof, thanks to the chromium it contains. Well, that being said, stainless steel is also known for being capable of retaining heat, which makes welding a challenge. I imagine the agency has been facing hurdles and challenges when it comes to testing that the ship has to undergo, and they also have to worry about the material they used for the body. If you think that they did not struggle with the welding, then you are certainly wrong, as stainless steel has a high possibility of warping under high temperatures. That is not all, as it is also possible for them to get distorted during the cooling process and get some obvious scratches that are so hard to hide. You see, they are prone to a lot of things. Having said that all, I guess that is safe to say that they pretty much struggled with this one. Not just in putting it up together, but also in maintaining the aesthetics of the rocket's exterior. Well, I guess that matters less than its success of making it to orbit anyway. Since welding is a very important step in finishing the body of the Starship, SpaceX used a welding method called flux core for the early prototypes. To explain this method a bit further, it basically uses heat generated by an electric arc infusing base metal in the weld joint area. This method also used shielding gas that protects the weld pool from oxidation and usually provided externally from a high-pressure gas cylinder. Additionally, slag formation from flux melting also protects the weld metal. Dual shield welding is mostly used on welding structural steel, as it was originally meant. Some of the most common shielding glasses used are a combination of argon and carbon dioxide, or just carbon dioxide alone. If they are going to use blends of argon and carbon dioxide, then the most common blends are 75% argon to 25% of carbon dioxide. More often than not, the dual shield method is meant for welding thicker materials. This way of welding is expected to give better and more consistent mechanical properties. Also, using this welding method can lessen the flaws of actual material and result compared to the outcome of using the other processes. Although when using the gas shielded method, there should not be too much wind, as it will eventually affect the process, as well as when there is disturbance. It is possible to get reduced weld metal properties. For sure, you've seen SpaceX's factory while surfing through the internet and following through the news regarding this company. If so, you are also aware that even though they have a huge place where they operate, there is no particular place to conduct the welding method that we just discussed, apart from a huge tent that they have. Even Elon Musk himself talked about the struggle they faced in their factory in Boca. He knows that the place is very windy and said that it affects the weld arc and steel melt pool. They have to operate and face the wind, even though it will possibly affect their outcome. Well, even with all the circumstances given, we cannot turn away from the fact that they did pretty well, especially the welders in making Starship look the way that it is right now. Like what I have said before, it does not matter if there are quite visible flaws on the metals used, but what actually matters is how well it will do during the major test that has yet to undergo before it can be cleared to launch. In the early prototype, the welds did not escape corrosion. Scratches, flaws, roughness are also pretty obvious on this early prototype. What SpaceX did to aid these flaws is grind them down. We have to commend their patience in trying their best to make Starship look at its best as well. The journey was obviously not easy, considering that the Mark I exploded and made the bulkhead fly. Because of this, the company had to change something again and make some upgrades to make the following prototypes better. After that failure, they used thinner single sheets of stainless steel for everything. Now, with these changes, they would need lesser welding as well. To make it even better, their use of TIG method become a better solution. This is also a primary solution if you want your project to have neater and sleeker welds. Another upgrade that they made is the switch from the 301 to the 304L stainless steel. This is a much better option to avoid corrosion in the welding process. In addition, the 304L has low carbon content. Well, what possibly sparked SpaceX's interest in using this new version of the stainless steel? I bet that they were thinking the same thing, and yes, of great importance to the welding. That is why they made the switch. Many would argue that the 304L is a weaker type of stainless steel. Although that is true, the weld of 304L is certainly stronger at cryogenic temperatures, thus allowing Starship's welds as they are. That is not the end of all the welding process tried on Starship. What actually became a game changer for SpaceX is when they tried laser welding in different parts of the Starship. Another step has to be taken. It never really ends, huh? The stainless steel also undergoes the cold rolling process. This is where the stainless steel is being strengthened by changing its shape without using heat. Well, what do they use, you may ask? They use mechanical stress instead. This can actually strengthen the metal by 20%, which is obviously better. Well, we are certainly about to see more of this process being used on SpaceX's other projects and spacecraft. I mean, anything to possibly make things better, right? We have seen them try and experiment on different processes and things because they surely want to make every project a success. For now, that is all I have for you. Are you excited to see and know more? Then make sure that you subscribe to our channel, give the video a thumbs up, turn on your notification bell to get updated whenever we have a new upload. I will see you in the next video.